Okay, so what is the arrow? What is the boomerang? Well, let's talk about that. Brave Writer publishes these digital magazines that go with living literature to help you teach the practices of the mechanics of writing using quality language. Instead of a workbook with a bunch of made-up sentences that are created by some publisher, we like to go to the source. And what we want to do is read quality writing to our children and then give them the opportunity to copy some of those passages in their own hand, to respond to dictation where you read the passage. You know, you'll have the book and you'll read the passage to the child, and your child will transcribe it in their own hand on a sheet of paper or on the computer. Both work. The purpose of all of that is to give our kids the opportunity to learn how to do writing in the context of meaning generation, not simply working with scrounged up sentences that don't have anything to do with what they're interested in or what they know about. Someone asked if we are an accredited program. Homeschooling works differently than that way. We do not focus on accreditation. We focus on skill building. And I come from a professional writing background, which is how I first discovered that homeschoolers did not have the same tools and tricks in their tool bag that pros have. So I've designed a program that maximizes my understanding of the writing process and the parent-child relationship. And those combined together are what Brave Writer is all about. We've been heavily influenced by the wonderful British educator Charlotte Mason as well, with some classical overtones and unschooling as well. So if you come from any of those styles of home education, you will find a wonderful fit here at Brave Writer. So without even waiting another minute, we are going to get right to it. The Arrow then is our digital magazine for 3rd to 6th grade. And this program covers a range of ages for a reason. I had 5 kids. I didn't want to do 5 levels all the time. I wanted to sort of pick great books to read and then customize and tailor the writing they did to their age level, but all within the same context of the same book. So that's what we do with the Arrow. And so that's why it covers so many ages. So I'm going to grab all the books, and we're just going to go one at a time. We're going to do 3rd to 6th grade Arrow first. Then we will do the Boomerang, which is for 7th through 10th graders. Okay? You ready? I'm so excited about the Arrow book list this year. Part of what is exciting about it is we chose 5 classics and 5 new books I haven't even read yet, but that have fabulous reviews or were recommended by other Brave Writer parents. Okay, so here is August. Classic, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So if you haven't read these with your kids yet, I'm hoping we'll suck you into a great series. This is an Arrow that we have from the past that we are updating and making all new, and it will go with C.S. Lewis's classic, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which also incidentally has a movie, and that's a great thing to do with your kids. So that's for August. For September, brand new title. It is an award winner, Newbery Medal winner, The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. And this book has amazing reviews. I'm going to read you the back of the book so you can be excited about it like I am. Ivan is an easygoing gorilla. Living in a shopping mall, he has grown accustomed to humans watching him through the glass walls of his domain. He rarely misses his life in the jungle. In fact, he hardly ever thinks about it at all. Instead, Ivan thinks about TV shows he's seen, his friends Stella and Bob, and painting. And then he meets Ruby, a baby elephant taken from her family, and she makes Ivan see their home and his own art through new eyes. When Ruby arrives, change comes with her, and it's up to Ivan to make it a change for the better. Now, this book was recommended by many of you, and I can tell many of you have already read it, but that's perfect for the Arrow. So if you've already read the book, then using this tool that we create to go with it will be wonderful for your kids. They'll already have a sense of the plot, and they'll be able to explore literary elements, grammar, punctuation that goes with it. Okay? So that's for September. October, a classic, Homer Price, by Robert McCloskey. You can't help but love this book. So much fun. And I just want to make sure that all of the new to Brave Writer families, all the new to homeschool families, do not miss some of these classic titles simply because the Arrow has been around for a while. This book is a delightful read. It's very short. It's perfect for October. Homer Price is one of those kids who was very industrious, right? Like he's a little entrepreneur in the pre-internet age. It's a very fun read. Okay. The next book is for November, and this is literally one of my favorite children's books of all time. I read it and loved it. Are you ready? Carry On, Mr. Bowditch. Carry On, Mr. Bowditch. This book is all about navigation and how Nathaniel Bowditch wrote the book that helps everybody understand how to sail across the sea and how to use the stars to navigate. Not kidding. Cried, loved this book. I adore, let me just not overstate it, I adore this book. If you want to inspire your kids to be excited about math, this is the book. It's all about math. It's all about passion-led mathematics. So this is a fantastic book, great work ethic, totally interesting storyline. And if you're studying colonial America, perfect title, okay? All right, so we've done August, September, October, November. For December, this is a new book for us. Louise Eldridge is known for all of her titles that have things to do with Native Americans because she is one. And this book was sort of touted as the Native American book like Laura Ingalls Wilder, like telling the other side of the Little House books from the perspective of Native Americans. This is called The Birch Bark House. I will read this back to you, the back a little bit, so that you have a sense of what it's about. Omakayas and her family live on the land her people call the Island of the Golden-Breasted Woodpecker. Although the Shimukoman white people encroach more and more on their land, life continues much as it always has. Every summer, they build a new birch bark house. Every fall, they go to ricing camp to harvest and feast. They move to the cedar log house before the first snows arrive and celebrate the end of the long, cold winters at Maple Sugaring Camp. So this book is all about Native American life, and I think will be just beautiful to read if you have not yet explored that from that sort of first-person perspective. All right, so that gets us through the first semester. So for those just jumping in, August is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. September is The One and Only Ivan. October is Homer Price. November is Carry On, Mr. Bowditch. And December is The Birch Bark House. All right, ready for second semester? This book is one that I know many of you have read. Maybe some of you have even heard an interview with this author over at the Read Aloud Revival, but I got so many requests for it, we decided to include it. The Green Ember. How many of you have read this? Anyone? This book is new to me, but when I read all the reviews and saw that it featured bunny rabbits, I knew that we needed to include it. It's a fantastic story. This is what it says about the Green Ember. Heather and Pickett are extraordinary rabbits with ordinary lives until calamitous events overtake them, spilling them into a cauldron of misadventures. They discover that their own story is bound up in the tumult, threatening to overwhelm the wider world. Now, we really cracked up. When I got this book in the mail, Liam read the back and he said, "Oh my gosh, I want to read that book." And then we both started laughing because I knew the second I saw this book cover, if Liam was still in 5th or 6th or 7th grade, this would have been a book he would have had to read right away. He's 21 today, reads the classics, and he still wants to read it. So he's planning to add it to his long book list for the summer. So this is a great book for January. For February, I always try to pick a title that goes with Black History Month. I think it's very important for us to read the Black experience, particularly Americans, to stay current with what that experience evolves into. This is a title we've written an arrow for before, so we are updating it. It's called Bud Not Buddy. In 1936, in Flint, Michigan, times may be hard, but 10-year-old Bud may be a motherless boy on the run, but he's got a few things going for him. He has his own suitcase full of special things. He's the author of Bud Caldwell's Rules and Things for Having a Funner Life and Making a Better Liar Out of Yourself. And his mama never told him who his father was. but she left a clue. Flyers advertising Herman E. Calloway and his famous band, the Dusky Devastators of the Depression. This book is phenomenal. I wept my little heart out. I learned so much. It's so well written and rich. February, Bud Not Buddy. March is a new book to the Brave Writer Company. We have not done this one yet. I've had it on my list now for 3 years. And finally I'm like, I can't wait another year. It has to be this year. It's called Out of My Mind. It's by Sharon Draper. And this book is touted as, if there's only one book teens and parents and everyone else can read this year, Out of My Mind should be it. That's what the Denver Post says. 11-year-old Melody has a photographic memory. Her head is like a video camera that is always recording, always, and there's no delete button. She's the smartest kid in her whole school, but no one knows it. Most people, her teachers and doctors included, don't think she's capable of learning, and up until recently, her school days consisted of listening to the same preschool-level alphabet lessons again and again. So this is a book about someone with severe disability, but with a completely active and alert mind. This is a powerful story, and I really hope that you'll read it. If you loved Wonder, this is kind of in the same vein. So this is for March of 2017. And then one of my favorite children's book writers of all times, she kills me every time I read one of her books, and she's popular with many of you, Linda Sue Park, for April, A Long Walk to Water. It's a very short read, and this one is all about a true story that took place in Africa. And if you know Linda Sue Park, you know she is a phenomenal wordsmith. I mean, she's one of the people who prevents me from reading adult literature because her writing is so stellar. So it's a great book. And then the final book is absolutely a classic. We timed it to go with the flowering of all your gardens. We want to update our Arrow copy, and we want to make sure you don't miss it. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And of course, this is a fabulous story. And if you haven't seen the movie or read the book, I am very excited to get to introduce you to both. If you have, you know that you want to do the Arrow for this. It's going to be so much fun. I have so many ideas already for what will be in it. So that's what we have. That's for the Arrow, our little frog level, right? So I'm going to hold up the second semester now so you can see. So we start in January with the Green Ember. February is Bud Not Buddy. March is Out of My Mind. April is A Long Walk to Water. And May is The Secret Garden. Isn't that exciting? So we have a fantastic list. I'm going to hold these up so you can take a screenshot if you would like to and know what all of our titles are. Now, of course, we're going to be posting this everywhere. On the website, we're going to post it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. But if you want to be the first to share this with your friends, take a screenshot now. You can put it on your places that you like to share with people. I think it's a fantastic lineup, too. Thank you for saying that, Tricia. Every year I get so excited about our book selection, and this year is no different. But I really love this mixture. I feel like we have diversity, we have fantasy, we have fun, we have history. You know, it's all there. Okay? All right. So that's the Arrow book selections. Now let's go ahead and look at the Boomerang. Pulling them forward. And for the Boomerang selection this year, I paired them with my cup of tea. I imagine your teens and preteens being a little bit more sophisticated than a playful frog. So this collection of boomerangs, oh my goodness, they're really good. Some of them are really long. So I want you to know that in advance so that if it's a book you know you want your kids to read, they will get started early. You could even start summer reading. Something to know is that the Boomerang and the Arrow both have book discussion clubs led by my daughter Johanna, who is 26, almost 27, and she is phenomenal at leading book discussion. She was homeschooled. She has a passion for poetry and literature, and she just really knows how to relate to teens. The median age for the Boomerang Book Club is like 13.5. So if you've got kids between 12 and 15, perfect. It's fine, though, if they're older. We've had 16, 17, and 18-year-olds in the Boomerang Book Club. For the Arrow Book Club, your kids will be anywhere from 9 to 12, and we're totally happy to have older kids in the Arrow Book Club if that's the level or books that they're interested in. You can sign up for one, or you can sign up for them all, totally custom designed, very inexpensive, just $49 a month. So that is our low bar, easy entry, great way to grow readers and writers. All right, you ready? Time for the Boomerang list. Here we go. The very first book was recommended by Nancy on our staff, Miss Peregrine. It's a little bit of an interesting, creepy book. There is a movie coming out to go with it, and so that's why we picked it. It will be our August selection. It has to do with a mysterious island, an abandoned orphanage, and a strange collection of peculiar photographs. So Miss Peregrine is our opening title for August. I'm going to have a sip of water. Our second title is also one of my favorite books, not only because my name is in the title, but because when I was a kid and read this book, I was spellbound. Absolutely loved it. Julie of the Wolves. How many of you have already read this book as a child? I loved it. One of my favorite reads ever. I think this and The Witch of Blackbird Pond are two of my enduring favorites from childhood. So Julie of the Wolves will be our September Boomerang selection. 7th to 10th graders. Then in October, we're going to do a classic work of American fiction by Mark Twain, The Prince and the Pauper. I hope you look forward to this book. This is a great classic story. It's an archetype for many other stories that follow, popular modern fiction, plays, movies, and once your kids have read this, they're going to start seeing the iconic ideas pop up in other places. That's one of the benefits of reading classics. You start to get the inside jokes that are related to the storylines that everybody knows. And oh my gosh, who doesn't love Mark Twain? He's got to be one of the funniest, most insightful writers of all time. Yep, Prince and the Pauper, and that's going to be for October. For November, we are doing a book that won the Newbery Prize for this author the first year that she came out of hiding. We've already done a book by her in the Boomerang level, but this is the one I really think we're going to enjoy reading. It's called Moon Over Manifest. Moon Over Manifest. And it is by Claire Vanderpool. Does anyone know this writer? She is so ingenious. We did Navigating Early a couple years ago. This book, though, is considered even better. It's her Newbery Book winner. I think your kids will love it. The protagonist is a girl, which is always fun. Awesome. So we've got, we are now up to, let's see, August, September, October. This was November. Okay. December, because we know you're busy with all the holidays, that's what we slated for our graphic novel, American Born Chinese. My daughter Johanna picked this book, and I think it looks so fascinating. Look at this. Look at this book. Don't you want your kids to read this? Don't you have children who will love reading this? It's a graphic novel, a fabulous art form. So we are doing this in December. Great book. And it also won the award for, let me read it real quick, the Michael Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature. Isn't that fabulous? We try in Brave Writer to do a variety of genres, a variety of writers. So these first books we've looked at have been classics and fiction and historical fiction. November's title was Moon Over Manifest. Moon Over Manifest. Okay? Oh, is my hand on it? Sorry. Here you go. American Born Chinese. There we go. Graphic novel. Thank you. It's so nice to be able to read the comments and respond. So this is December. In January, we're reading a nonfiction title because I think it's important for kids growing into high school to start to understand how to read nonfiction, how to talk about it, how to work with it, because let's be honest, the majority of the writing they do in college will be related to nonfiction unless they're a literature major. Otherwise, sociology, psychology, history, philosophy, theology, religion, whatever they study is going to require them to read nonfiction and make sense of it. So this book is called Mountains Beyond Mountains. It is written by Tracy Kidder, but it is the quest of Dr. Paul Farmer, a man who would cure the world. And this is all about Haiti. his trips to Haiti. So this is another title that Johanna picked. I think it looks fabulous. It was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, so obviously beautifully written, and it will give your kids some insight into the developing world through this experience of reading this book and this one man's quest to do something noble and good. So I hope you'll enjoy reading that title. That is for January. Okay. Now remember what I said about the Arrow. For February, we did Black History Month for that. We're doing Black History Month for the Boomerang, and I picked the John Newbery Medal winner by Kwame Alexander called The Crossover. And this book is all about basketball. And I'm super excited about it. I'm going to read this one because I'm so excited. So here's what the description of the book says. A bolt of lightning on my kicks, the court is sizzling. My sweat is drizzling, stop all that quivering, 'cause tonight I'm delivering. Raps basketball phenom Josh Bell. Thanks to his dad, he and his twin brother Jordan are kings on the court with crossovers that make even the toughest ballers cry. But Josh has more than hoops in his blood. He's got a river of rhymes flowing through him, a sick flow that helps him find his rhythm when everything's on the line. Poetry. This book is written in poems. It's going to be awesome. Totally awesome. This is written in poetry. Poetry. How fun is that? So if you've got sports fans in your family, or even if you don't, this book has so much power and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I should just give you a caveat really quick. The Boomerang books, you might want to look at them first. There might be sexuality, like in Julie of the Wolves. There's a rape. They don't do it explicitly, but it's absolutely in there. These books are going to deal with some language, some sexuality, sometimes with difficult social issues. So be sure that you pick the books based on what your family tolerates, what your family is ready to look at, and the maturity of your children. I expect you to be the adults. Don't just trust me because I don't know your kids. So always do your own research. If you can, read or at least go to the Barnes & Noble and stand in the aisle and just start reading pages to be sure you're good with it. We're good with it, but we don't have your kids and I don't have your values. So I want to make sure you're happy too. So that's my big caveat for the Boomerang. Okay. Yeah, Bud Not Buddy has some situations in it. I mean, honestly, at this level, they all do. They all do. Because once you move into junior high and high school, life becomes more complicated, and we create space for our kids to slowly acclimate to the notion that life is not pristine, that people encounter issues that are unsavory, you know? And it gives you the opportunity for great conversations with your emerging teens to help them move into that world in dialogue, triangling in a book. It's very powerful. So yes, a great avenue to have big talks, big juicy conversations. And that's the other reason our book clubs are great. Karen's pointing that out. It's a safe place to have these conversations. But you're the final arbiter. I'm not. So you definitely need to make sure that you know what's good for your teens. Christiana says that she did a mix of Arrow and Boomerang last year with 10 and 13-year-olds. That is such a great solution. And I totally advocate that. Okay, so we've made it all the way to... Let's see, we got, oh, you know what I didn't do? Let me just show you really quick first semester again, and then I'll continue with second. So we started with Miss Peregrine, and then we did Julie of the Wolves, Prince and the Pauper, Moon Over Manifest, and American Born Chinese. This is first semester, August through December. And then so far in the second semester, we've looked at Mountains Beyond Mountains in January and the crossover in February. This is the Boomerang, correct. So March and May have such long books, but they're so good we included them, and we know that some kids at this age really love a good meaty read, so we just leaned into it anyway. So this book has a movie coming. Who doesn't read the Divergent series if you're 13 years old? So that's what this book is, and the movie's coming, and we just felt like you all should have the opportunity to let your kids be in a learning context to discuss it if they so choose. That's what we do at the Brave Writer Book Club discussions, is we take popular novels, not just classics, and we help kids really get the maximum from them. Okay, so Divergent is like one of the most popular series, and we're excited to share it with your kids. Are they already all on the movies? That's totally possible. Here you go. So Divergent. Then we are doing a book that explores a culture unknown by many of us, although we may actually have homeschoolers from this culture even watching right now. We're going to look at Hasidic Judaism in this fabulous book by Chaim Potok called The Chosen. One of the classics, one of my favorite books also. So that will be an exciting read for April. And then our very last book is ridiculous. Look how long this thing is. But it's by a fabulous author, and it's Pam Munoz Ryan, and the name of this book is Echo, and it has gotten a huge raving set of reviews. Christopher Paul Curtis, who wrote Bud Not Buddy, gave it this review. This is a beautifully crafted story. It has mystery, adventure, and a powerful sense of hope and heart. A masterpiece. I'm going to read you a little bit about it so you'll know what this book is. Lost and alone in a forbidden forest, Otto meets three mysterious sisters and suddenly finds himself entwined in a puzzling quest involving a prophecy, a promise, and a harmonica. Decades later, Friedrich in Germany, Mike in Pennsylvania, and Ivy in California, each in turn become interwoven when the very same harmonica lands in their lives. All the children face daunting challenges, rescuing a father, protecting a brother, holding a family together. And ultimately, pulled by the invisible thread of destiny, their suspenseful solo stories converge in an orchestral crescendo. Apparently, the Audible book for this has harmonica woven throughout it. Would that not be fun to listen to on a long drive with your family this summer? Like, listen to it now and then read it next year. Echo by Pam Munoz Ryan. Yes, Betsy, of course you want to read these books for yourself. This is what happens to me every year. I never read adult fiction. I only read books for kids, and I love every single one of them. So that brings up the rear on second semester. So let's just, I can hardly lift them. Let's hold these books up. Mountains Beyond Mountains, The Crossover, Divergent, The Chosen, and Echo. January through May. Is that awesome? I'm so excited. There will be Boomerang and Arrow book clubs for all the books, and we will be providing the Boomerang and the Arrow one at a time each month. We start in August, so August 1st will be the release of the first two, and that for the Arrow would be Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and for the Boomerang it would be Miss Peregrine, so that's August. And guess what? We sell all 10 like a year-long subscription for a price reduction in June. Only $69 instead of $79. So starting June 1st, if you want to buy the whole year, you can sign up in June and get $10 off. And then we will add you, to the special delivery mechanism to receive them starting in August. That means each issue is only $6.90. I just want you to sort of get a feel for how that works. So yeah, no, it's a great deal. I mean, it's a lot of work to write the Boomerangs and the Arrows. I've been doing it for years. I do the Arrows. I've had help with the Boomerang for the last several years. It is a process. We think a lot about it. We try to produce a really good product. We're going through a product redesign right now so that they should look really beautiful in August. But I wanted you to know that so that if you want to jump in early and take advantage of that deal, you'll be able to. Starting June 1st, it will all be obviously on the store, in email marketing, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the places that we share. Does that mean we do it ourselves? I'm not sure what that means, but let me explain this. So the Arrow and the Boomerang are products. They are digital downloads, somewhere between 15 and 20 pages. And you will download it to your computer, print it out, and use it with your family. And they give you guided information about copywork and dictation so that you are able to be intentional in how you talk about the passages your kids are reading and writing. Rather than just copying a random passage and being done, we give you some dialogue points. We talk about literary elements like onomatopoeia, personification. We talk about plot and climax and characterization. We talk about grammar, why one, particular use of passive voice works and another time it doesn't. We talk about powerful verbs and adjectives and the way they enhance the writing. So all of that is happening inside these issues that go with the books you're reading. We don't provide you with the books. We provide you with the commentary that goes with it. And if you choose books to read that aren't on the list, there's still a good chance that we've got them. That's exactly true. Yes, exactly. From a past year, we have single issues for sale. Are the guides updated for Precious Club books? Don't know what that means. So maybe rewrite it. I feel like something's missing from that. But yeah, so what's going to happen is, previous, yes. So if we update The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, it will be updated and for sale in the updated version on our site. If you already own the old version and you want the updated copy, if you just send it to us, we will obviously send you back the updated version once it's published. Very happy to do that. All you have to do is send us the version that you have, and that shows us that you own it, and then we'll send it back to you. If you're using the Arrow or the Boomerang, we do consider it a complete language arts. It covers grammar, spelling, punctuation, mechanics, but caveat, in Brave Writer, we do recommend a systematic grammar program 3 times in your child's life. 1 year in elementary school, 1 year in junior high, and then hopefully a foreign language in high school. And we have various programs we've recommended, but you get to decide whatever you want to use. As I'm famous for saying, all grammar programs are equally ineffective. So just pick one. But the goal of it really is to give your kids exposure to the systems of how grammar functions. Book club is different than the printed copies. Yes, it is, except the book club includes the printed copies. So if you sign your kids up for the book club, you don't also have to order the printed copies separately. But the book club is an online discussion where you have the opportunity to read questions. Your child will compose them in their own time and post them when it's convenient. And then other kids will respond, and so will the instructor. If you sign up for a book club month, you do not need to purchase the Arrow or the Boomerang. It is always included as a benefit of being in the book club. So, but that said, if you're not doing all 10 months of the book club, but you want all 10 months of the Arrow or the Boomerang, then you are going to need to buy the year-long subscription. So that's something to know too. Are the discussions in the book club at a set time? No, never. None of anything we do in Brave Writer requires you to be online at a specific time. We are an asynchronous online teaching tool. That means you log in during daylight when it's comfortable for your child, and everything that was posted from yesterday will still be there to read, and you can post whatever you want when it's convenient for you. We do have a Boomerang book club starting on June 6th for To Kill a Mockingbird. We do To Kill a Mockingbird every June because it's such a perennial classic, and almost every American student feels the need to read it in high school. So we do have that starting on June 6th. There is still space available, although we had a rush of orders today. We take a certain limited number of students. So if that was on your list, you might want to not procrastinate and hop in, because it'll probably close in the next couple of days. But yeah, that book is starting a week from Monday. And then just one last sort of, advertising thing. We have a journaling jumpstart class that is starting on June 6th as well. That's just one of our writing classes, and you can certainly sign up for that as well with your kids. It's a terrific, terrific creative writing experience, and for kids who love to match their writing to drawing or thinking outside of the box, that is a fabulous way to draw them into the writing experience. Are all months available in August? No, they are not. They get published once a month on the 1st of the month, and they go in order, so you do have to follow our schedule. If it's called Journaling Jumpstart, Heather, the class I was mentioning. Now listen, if you want all 10 issues of the Arrow or all 10 issues of the Boomerang, you can get them all at once from last year right now until May 31st, and then that ends. So last year's book lists are still on the website in the store. You can see if you like those books. They were all fabulous, of course. And you can buy that now, and all 10 will be delivered to you at once, and then you can use them in any order that you like. but for the coming year, we release them 1 month at a time. Can I pick and choose what book clubs? Yep, you sure can. You can do 1 month, you can do every other month, you can do 2 months in the fall, 3 months in the spring, totally up to you. And the way our registration form works is there will be check boxes and you just pick the one that is right for you. Where do you find recommendations for language arts curriculum? Well, my site, just go to bravewriter.com and we have everything there. If you need any questions answered that are personal to your family, email me at julie@bravewriter.com. I completely forgot to bring my little note cards out here today. So if someone wants to type in julie@bravewriter.com and also type in store.bravewriter.com, that would be wonderful. Yes, all of the issues of the Arrow and Boomerang come out on the first day of each month. So August 1st, September 1st, October 1st, just like that. Thank you, Jen. So appreciate it. Any other questions? It's been great getting to be, you guys get to be the first people. I didn't even go on Facebook. I'm like, I'm going on Periscope. I'm rewarding all my Periscope followers for being so diligent about hopping on whenever I'm on. So I love you all too. It's very fun to share this with you. And thank you for your reaction. Sounds like you like the book list, and I'm thrilled to hear that. You cannot believe how many emails it takes to pick those books, but it's always a really thrilling part of the day. I know people keep emailing me. So we're different than other companies. I know we could have, shared all this stuff months ago, but I sort of like not making you spend your money until it's close. And so once we are in May, then we move in June, and then July. Like, I try to time things. We're just getting ready to release the fall writing class schedule as well. We're a little bit, tight right now, and the reason is because we have a staff retreat happening next week, Wednesday to Friday. So all of my teachers are flying in to Cincinnati. We are hosting them here, and we're doing teacher training, and we will be periscoping from that event. So you stay tuned. We're going to Periscope, interview, do podcast interviews, just really take advantage of the fact that we're going to have all of my teaching staff in one place at the same time. And I'm telling you, it'll be so much fun. Oh yeah, we're crazy. We have that retreat. Then I go to Seattle, and then we have our big customer retreat in July. Oh, you're bringing shiny lipstick. Me too, Jen. She's one of our teachers. The staff retreat is next week, June 1st to June 3rd. And we're going to have a total blast. Nancy is in charge of it, and she's got great ideas. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to say. It's just going to be fun. Someone is asking, Jenny, about creative writing classes for mamas. You want to know what's funny? We've done it in the past, and it's something I would love to do again, but we don't have the staff for it. We keep maxing out because of all of our student needs, and I keep hiring people, and we keep maxing out. So here's one of my recommendations. For example, if you take Journaling Jumpstart, your daughter is taking it, do the creative writing exercises yourself. They're not age related. Do you know what I mean? They're just amazing processes. So sign up your kid and then do it on the sly. We also have family classes like playing with poetry. Totally expect parents to participate. We have dads and moms writing poems in that class. So if you can get into a family class, or you can sort of, sideways borrow from one of our classes, that's what I'd recommend right now. And then maybe if I can get ahead of the game, we can actually have another mother's class. I used to teach them every summer when I was first starting Brave Writer, and it was so much fun. Oh, you did it for Write for Fun too. That's wonderful. Perfect, Christy. Well, I'm going to hop off because I need to do other things. Somebody asked me about how my grass is so green. I take no credit. I live in Ohio. Ohio's just amazing. It never would look like this in California. It is just Ohio. Oh, I'm so glad he loved my mom. That's so sweet. My mom teaches Write for Fun. She's a professional author. She's written 85 books. She's worked in the writing industry for 50 years. So that I will tell her that, Christy. That's wonderful. Yeah, so Ohio, responsible for green grass. And maybe, one of those chemical lawn places. Yeah. Exactly. No, it's so easy to live out here. You just live. There's no sprinkler system. And you mow. And you mow a lot because it grows so dang fast. But yeah, no, I love Ohio. Unbelievable state. If you've not been, well, you should come. That's why we're hosting the retreat in Cincinnati, because I want to show off how awesome Cincinnati is. It's such a fabulous city, and it looks like this all over the city. It's amazing. Yes, it is. It's my green magic carpet. In fact, funny story. Oh, no, I love answering silly questions. My favorite kind. So when we first moved to Ohio, my kids were from Southern California, where like we never saw anything green unless it was a green crayon or a palm tree frond, right? So we got here in April, right when everything was changing because it was spring. And then summer hit and it looked like this. And we sat down and we did a free write, and I told everyone to pick a color. We do these things called color walks, where you walk and you pick a color and then you come home and you write about your color. So I picked green, because of course I write too. My kids write, I write, we all write at the same time. Everyone takes the same writing risk. I don't just make them write while I supervise. So I came home and I wrote about green, and it became this whole free write. I still have it because I loved it so much, about the assault of green, about this like military advance of green on my life, and how I could not survive it. It was going to take over. It was like a hostile takeover in my life, but a very happy one. A happy hostile takeover. Anyway, isn't that funny? Okay, I'm going to hop off because I just found out that my phone's about to die. You guys have used me up. So, live honestly, write bravely, sign up for, the Boomerang and the Arrow book clubs, and the year-long subscriptions as soon as those open. And I will catch you on the flip, maybe doing Facebook later this weekend. All right, everyone. Take care.